Hey everybody, Marcus here. This is week 1, day 1 of muscular hypertrophy or muscle gain. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our hamstrings this week. I like to try to get the hamstrings in first because Monday, which is what most people start with their exercise, is kind of National Chest Day for most gyms. So I try to stay away from that as much as possible and try to get my legs in first. So we're going to start off with the hamstrings today, as well as working into the glutes and the anterior tibialis in the front of the shin here. The first exercise I want to demo, again, just very briefly, is going to be the traditional deadlift. The traditional deadlift, I'm going to use dumbbells instead of a barbell here. Both feet are going to point straight forward just like this, about hip width to shoulder width apart, dropping down nice and smooth, keeping your chest up as high as you can, unloading at the bottom, squeezing the glutes, driving the hips back up and forward, back and forth like that. We're going to be aiming for a rep range here, and actually I'll discuss that later. I'll put those in the comments. But for right now, we'll just do that. Once you're done with your 1 to 3 sets on that exercise, we'll be coming over to the hamstring curls. Now the hamstring curls with the TRX, you can do this with a ball as well. Really good for isolating the hamstrings. Shoulders back, chest up high, lift up the hips, curl in, pause, and then nice and smooth, bring yourself right back out. Trying to dorsiflex your feet as much as possible in this position. Keep it as smooth and controlled as possible, working into that 5-1-1 tempo. Our third exercise is we're going to be coming back to those deadlifts, but this time we're going to be doing a straight leg deadlift in this position. So with your dumbbells, feet once again about hip width or shoulder width apart. The weights will actually come out in front, hinging forward at the waist, pushing your hips back to the limits of your flexibility, and then press yourself right back up into that position, driving the hips up and forward. Again, pushing the weights back, hinging forward at the waist, weight is primarily through the heel, and then driving your hips back up and forward once again. Do the desired amount of exercise in that time frame, and then moving back into the TRX once again. So this will be our 4th exercise out of 6 for our primary muscle group here, which is the hamstring. Hooking in, hips are going to come up, roll the shoulders back, alternating hamstring curls this time, back and forth, taking it as slow and as controlled as possible in order to isolate that hamstring. 5th exercise for the hamstring curls, or the hamstrings, are going to be the sumo deadlift. Turning those feet out to the side, about shoulder width apart in this position. Make sure they're as equal as possible. Weights are going to come out in front this time, hinging forward at the waist with a small bend in the knee, and then driving those hips up and forward. So once again, bending your knees slightly, pushing the hips back, lifting up to the chest, back should be flat, legs are turned out to the side, press your hips up and forward. Hitting 3 different angles with the hamstring curls, using the lower back involved with that movement as well, being careful not to overdo it. Our 6th and final exercise in this primary sequence is going to be our hip thrust. So you can do this with or without weight, but essentially getting your upper back onto a bench, putting either a barbell or a weight system, a barbell or dumbbell over the pelvis, drop the hips down, drive the hips up, squeeze the glutes, hold that position for about 2 to 3 seconds, and then slowly dropping right back down, back and forth, again for the desired amount of reps and the desired amount of time under tension. Okay, so now that those are out of the way, we're actually going to move into the secondaries that are involved with this group, which are going to be our glutes. So for this one, we're going to focus on those glute kickbacks. So with the glute kickbacks, we're going to keep it really simple. Hands will come down, glute will kick back just like that, keeping the abdominals in. We're going to go to fatigue with that leg and then simply switch over to the other side. By the time you're done with all those primaries, the glutes are going to be in a fatigue state. It shouldn't be too hard to work them. Our last one, our stabilizer for all this, we're going to be working the anterior tibialis. So the anterior tibialis are really, really simple to work. Lay on your back, grab on top of your knees just like this, turn your circles, your ankles in a circle. I like to do 5 one way, 5 the other way, and then 5 point and flex until these light on fire and you can't do it anymore, and then you move on and you repeat. Okay, so this is level 1, day 1 of your muscular hypertrophy training for muscle gain. That's it.
4.5 minutes.
Wow, I did all that in 4.5 minutes. Holy crap.
Now, we did, whoops, stop recording.